Go ahead with your question.
Garrett,
Go ahead.
how would you compare your defensive performance today versus Wisconsin?
About the same.
Think so?
We didn't get the win. We came in here with every intention of winning this game, and we didn't get it done.
David, talk a little bit about your day. It seemed like you were more of a featured back pass receiver than maybe a game or two ago. How did it look for you?
I just wanted to come out and play and do my best and help the team. I just bring in when I need to or call it when I need to.
David, what was different in that second quarter going forward? You started off so strong and then you didn't get as many carries going forward. Was there anything different in the game plan or what was kind of affected you?
No, I was just running, seeing what holes were open. I didn't really see anything different. Our offense was doing good and was marching the ball down. We just couldn't score.
How much more of a conceived effort was it in the second half to get the ball to you? I know in the third and fourth quarters, it seemed you got a little more carries, a few more receptions as well.
They were saying that putting me out a receiver or from the backfield or running the ball was helping a lot, and we just tried to see what was going on in the second half.
Garrett, did you have any one-on-ones with Wiseman at all, or can you talk about that?
Who?
With number 45?
Yeah, he leaked into our secondary a number of times. Iowa did a great job, creating running room for him, and we did a poor job of tackling. We couldn't wrap up, and he was a big bag, and he was hard to bring down.
Sorry, does this game have a little bit of a different feel to it than you played Wisconsin close? You lose by 11 today. Is this a little bit of a different sort of feeling with the team?
Not really. We played a great Iowa team, very fundamentally sound on defense. They did a great job. So was Wisconsin. They did different things in Wisconsin, obviously. Coach Solomon and Coach Producer, like they always do, they did a great job calling plays, putting us in great situations. So I don't think there's any different.
Did anything change in the second half? They seemed to slow you down.
No. I mean, it's a great Iowa team, like I said, a great defense. So, it's hard to move the ball against them. They made some adjustments, so we had to make some adjustments too. Last 2-minute drill, was trying to make some plays. They started doing different things, and it's a great Iowa team, and we did the best we could.
Did you think you wore down a little bit at the end?
No, I don't think so. I think that it was just a great effort by them, making adjustments, doing different things to kind of rattle us, and I think that we did the best that we could. I couldn't ask any more from any of my guys, from David, receivers, linemen. They all did their jobs, and we did the best we could.
How do you think these games will help prepare you guys for your season coming up? And you got two pretty good opponents coming up next couple of weeks.
I think it's going to be huge for us. Besides the injuries, we got to get healthy. But playing in a place like Kinnick and Camp Randall is going to be huge for us. When we go to Youngstown, and then playing North Dakota State at home, those are going to be two very good teams, but I think we've already played two excellent teams along with Central State that I think that we'll be prepared, and we just got to keep the train rolling, just keep it going, figure out what we need to do to win.
Garrett, is that the kind of power running from Iowa that you kind of expect?
Yeah, their offense is obviously different than the past Iowa teams, but they just did a good job, creating holes for whoever was back there.
How physical of a game was it, Garrett? Things seemed to be a little chippy, especially in the first half.
Yeah, I think you'll get that. Two Iowa schools playing each other. They were definitely ready to play. They didn't take us lightly. After we played Wisconsin, and we played them close 3 years ago here, and like I said, they were just ready to come, or they came out ready to play.
Time for one more, guys. David, visiting as a high school senior, watching Iowa and Northern Iowa play on your visit, what was it like to score a touchdown as a Panther and go up 7-0 at that point?
It was very exciting, very good, and I just liked it. It was a fun time. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Coach Farley.
Coach,
great opening drive, but it seemed like the team had a little difficulty, controlling the line of scrimmage up front. I know Iowa just tried to come out and do that, up front and dominate the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I think you saw the game plan right out of the gate for them is that they tried to rush the ball the whole first half and win that part of the game, and then we actually tried to do the same thing on our side. We wanted to rush the football, and we did. We just didn't do it consistently enough.
There's been so much talk about Iowa changing things offensively. Did you expect them to come out and do the ground and pound type that they did today?
Not really. I expect them to get the 2 tight ends because that's their strength. And I expect them to rush the football against us or try to establish a run game for the rest of the season. So against us, if I was the coach, I would have done the same thing. Try to get confidence in my run game. From what they were doing. So we expected the 2 tight end set. And, we were in some bad positions defensively that gave up some rounds, and then the running back made some nice cuts. So once we got out of some of the slanting stuff, then we did better. But I didn't expect him to
What you think
continuously run the ball.
What you think of the Iowa fullback? Certainly you didn't expect Wiseman to carry the ball 25 times. What was the unique challenge about facing him today?
Well, it was, he wore us down. I think you saw that we missed some tackles that we don't normally miss. And we missed too many tackles today, so that's probably really the storyline.
Coach, the character of your team, though, had to be shown goal line stand at the end.
Well, I thought that was important for our team, for our school, because we came down here to win the game. I thought that initial drive and what happened in the first half, I was actually felt good at halftime at 17-13. But we never got control of the second half, so I thought that was important for this team and for our school to win that line of scrimmage at the goal line and not get in that fourth inch.
And after what you've seen through 3 weeks, that you're very confident now going into the Valley season?
Well, I got an idea of our football team, but our football team will change a little bit now next week. We lost a couple of guys today, so we'll see what we come up with next week for Youngstown.
Was that first drive scripted, and then after that first drive, what did they do to change things to slow you guys down, especially in the second half?
We probably didn't stay with the run long enough. That first drive, we got 2 tight ends and 2 backs in the first play and got 8-9 yards out of it. And we probably should have came back to some of that stuff and just tried to pound the line of scrimmage, and we kind of, that was scripted, of course, like you said. We probably should have came back and just tried to pound the ball more on because we were moving the line of scrimmage, and we could have ran the ball with our running backs and kind of got away from it and moved around a little bit too much, and then when you don't complete the pass, you're always looking at second and long.
A couple of goal-to-goal situations, including for your touchdown. You looked like you had some sort of a wildcat formation in there with your running back taking the ball rather than Skyler. What is that a wrinkle that you decided to put in for this game, or is that something you're working on for the rest of the year as well?
No, we did that against Wisconsin. I don't think that surprised them. We had that same play against Wisconsin, maybe different blocking scheme to it, but the same formation out the goal line. And we just wanted to spread them out so they couldn't load the box, and then just try to power it in.
Mark, your thoughts on David Johnson? He really was a featured back for you early and then came back to him a little bit late. How did he look to you?
I thought he was a very good running back. When he was in there, he was effective. He changed the course of the game when he was in there. So, I think that says it is very evident that he strengthened our offense.
What is the difference, between leaving here with a victory and leaving with a loss?
Well, leaving here the way we are is really all I can speak for. And, I'm pleased with our team, what they had to do in the last 2 of the last 3 weeks. And as you can see, a Big Ten team is going to line up and just try to win the line of scrimmage and wear you down. And that's kind of what happened. And, there's a point in time that you do wear a little bit, but, that's why I thought that goal line stand was big. That was something we had to step up and make the play on. So, leaving here, I'm pleased with what our team was asked to do and what they did in the last 2 weeks. I thought we could have won both football games. We came in here thinking we could win this game. We did not perform. We didn't play that well here today. We played good at Wisconsin. We didn't play that well here today. We had a couple moments. So we got to take that because we missed too many tackles and too many blocks and jumped off sides, things like that that we can't do when you're playing. This is like a playoff game type atmosphere / intensity of a game when you're playing. So that's where we're at. We're only 3 games in the season.
Coach, are you better for playing those 2 games, those 2 tough opponents? I know you lost a couple players today, or what do you think about this?
I think we're better for it leaving here, but my biggest concern right now is getting them all back for next week. How do we get to that level of play next week? Because we've been to the intensity level twice now, and we got to go right back for 2 more weeks now. So how we get this team back will be very important. That'll be the biggest test of this team now. The character of this team will be tested, how resilient they can come back and play on the road again next week in another environment that is very intense. And that's a huge game for Youngstown as it is for us.
Mark, your defense held up better at Wisconsin than today. Besides missed tackles, what was the difference?
Oh, I didn't get him in the right spot today. I didn't get him in the right spot. Put him in better spots there so they could win the angles. We didn't win the angles, and I didn't get the setup right for him.
Was there any reason you didn't try to run the ball more, say in the second quarter, or kind of feed off of that first drive where David kind of had, I think, 57 total yards, and kind of feed him more in that second and third quarter?
Yeah, we were feeding him pretty good there, and then we had that. We were down to the end zone, and that would have been a big score right there that we took the field goal on. We needed that touchdown right there, and then he was taking a lot of hits too. And, yeah, we probably, if you sat there and said that was your football game that you're living and dying for, you probably would have kept him in and kept grinding it. But he'd already run the ball like 5-6 times in a row, and there's a wear and tear, and then they start making bad cuts and bad hits and bad angles, and that's why we got 2 backs. So we gave it to Carlos and put Carlos in. That's the purpose of having 2, is try to keep him so you don't break one down.
Anything you can tell us, Mark, about I think Gacky and Cutcomb?
Yeah, they're both on crutches now, so we'll find out more on Monday. That doesn't sound too promising for Cutcomb, but Gacky his time will tell. But it didn't sound very good about the first thing on Zach. Zach was really getting good at nickel for us.
What does this say about your quarterback to go into 2 tough environments for anybody, doesn't matter what level they are, but to perform the way he did? He was only sacked once, both games, Wisconsin and Iowa, and then he's only a freshman. You got to like what his future holds for you.
Well, here's where I think these 2 games will show up. I don't know what will happen this year, but I think a lot of that football team that played these 2 football games were sophomores. He's a redshirt freshman. David's a redshirt sophomore. Many of those players out there were very young, all those receivers. So I think these games will help our football program in the next 2 seasons, because how they train, what they're up against, they know what it is, and that level to get to and the level they have to play at. So they learned a lot these last 2 weeks. Now, I'm not worried about those years. We got to find a way to get this team healthy and back on the field and get the right guys. So we'll have to mix and match some things next week to get lined up for Youngstown. Cole Morgan is a good leader. You saw he's a poised player. He throws good balls. We've got good receivers. So we just need to build from that.
Thank you, guys.
We like him back there. I mean, we like the other guys too. It's fun to see when he's breaking tackles and stuff. It's fun to watch that.
After all the talk about not being able to score a touchdown against Iowa State and struggling against Northern Illinois, how much of a point of pride was it to come out and score touchdowns on your first few drives there?
It was fun. I mean, we've been wanting to do that all season, get out there and score in the first half, score the first drive, We went down and got a couple field goals the first drives of our first 2 games, and now we finally put it in the end zone, and we'll keep working on that, make progress on that.
Was that something you guys had talked about, or maybe even brought up during the before the game today?
Yeah, we wanted to go down and put points on the board and for sure try to get it in the end zone. I mean, points for sure, but hopefully get it in the end zone.
When you have a running back running that hard, can you guys kind of feed off that up front too?
Yeah, it's just physical mentality, and people are playing hard, each other, work each other off of that, and keep working hard. I mean, it's fun.
This is what people think of Iowa football, like kind of what you guys, like kind of just the power running game.
Right, and that's the same way that's the way we think of it too. So.
In the first drive, there seemed to be a lot of checks or something at the line of scrimmage. Were there 2 plays called at the line of scrimmage, and then kind of
we
what?
Checked a whole bunch of plays at the first drive.
Yeah, and it seemed like he was checking almost always to the run. Was that kind of by design? If it was,
yeah, we going into the game, we wanted to force the inside zone. There's kind of a weak spot, not the players, like the defense is mechanically weak on the inside, so that's where we had to do it, and we fed off of that once we got it going.
Okay.
Was it more of a positioning thing? It seemed to be that the checkdowns were just running away from the simple things of running away from the outside back and being on one side.
I don't know a whole lot about that.
That's not your
I just
forte.
listen to whatever the play is going on.
Okay.
Thought UNI might come in here and give you guys trouble, but glad to get out of here with a win.
Definitely. I mean, we knew that they were going to come in, hungry, and they're a great team. We got to give them credit, and we knew we were going to come in and play. They were going to come in, win the game, win the game, and we just felt really confident because we had a really good practice week, and I think that's what made us play a lot better, especially offensively. We really got after this week, and I think it showed on the field.
Keenan, there was a lot of discussion about drops and stuff during last week's game, but you guys seem to really come out and not only made tough catches yourself and the whole receiver corps.
Well, drops are going to happen. We don't really focus on how many drops we have. I mean, you just got to get over it. It's football. So we had to just go out and make our plays and execute like we did. So.
You talk about Weissman, comes in here, gets over 100 yards.
Weissman, man, that guy, he's a tank. That's what he is. So, we knew it was going to come. We saw this. He had a great camp, and everybody knew that he was going to come in and produce, and he did.
What's he like in the huddle?
Quiet. He's going to do everything right. He's one of those guys that shows you to do things right instead of telling you he's going to do something right. He's one of those guys that you look up to because he shows the younger guys that you don't need to talk to be good. You just go out there and do your work.
Over 400 yards of offense. Is this kind of the game you needed to get the offense on track, at least a little bit?
Yeah, we always knew that we were going to get the offense going. It was just we had to, chick some webs out and then, just execute and focus on details. The heart was there. We were all working hard. Nobody's lacking any, effort or anything. But we went out and just, execute.
With that being said, a relief. How satisfying to have this game here today?
Yeah, it's a relief. But we know what we can do. We know we have a lot of work still.
About those two?
Just trying to catch the ball and keep the ball tight and not get smacked very much. But it was definitely hard plays, but we have to make them, and it was on big drives. And I feel comfortable that any of us receivers would have made them because of the week of practice we had and the focus we had today.
After today's game, do you guys feel like you'll be more confident going into the rest of the season on offense?
It was a big drive, but that was a big touchdown. To raise our confidence up. We worked on a lot of things this week, and it looks like it paid off.
Mark had a really good Weissman kind of had a big day. Was there a thought though after two guys go down that he's like, maybe I'm the next guy to get the ball, be in the backfield?
No, Mark's a super tough kid. He works hard every single day, and very disciplined running back, and as you can see, he's tough as hell. So,
looked like you guys made an effort in the first drive to kind of match up the zone, whatever was happening inside, and go to the run there. I mean, how important was it for you guys to establish a physical presence early on?
I thought it was huge. We were like you said, we were moving the ball really well, so we stuck with it, and the whole game we run the ball well, pass the ball. Every time we get a big run, it's going to open up the pass. So.
James looked to be on pretty good too. I think he was like 12 or 15 at some point and early on. I mean, what can you say about kind of his precision?
He's a great quarterback, and he's super smart. And everyone got down on him in the last 2 weeks, but I knew he was going to pick his game up. He's, like I said, he's super smart, works hard, and paid off today. So.
How many plays did he call at the line of scrimmage on that first drive? It seemed like you guys had 2 plays, and he was kind of looking the formations over. And
we had a lot of checks today. Checked out of maybe an inside zone, change it to the opposite side, run outside zone. Or there was a lot of that going on today by the way the defense was lining up. So,
Bad throw, and I just kind of saw it and dove for it and got under the ball.
It looked like it was close to be one of those reviewed plays. I mean, but did you feel like pretty secure?
During the play, I felt like I got under it pretty good. I was pretty sure that caught it.
Coming into it, what was kind of the mentality coming in against Northern Iowa? Most teams almost always overlook a FCS team, but this didn't seem to be one.
Absolutely not. I mean, we have no room for error right now, and we've been struggling a little bit, but we're going to keep on working, and
keep on giving our best shot, and you know, that's all we can really do right now. But yeah, we were definitely focused and ready to go for this game.
Early on, they really established their offensive tempo, at least on the first drive. What did you guys do to kind of slow them down as the game went on?
You know, honestly, we made a couple adjustments. You know, end of that first quarter, we started slowing them down a little better. But you know, I think we just started playing. It kind of seems like we keep doing this every week, but we got to get a better start as a defense. But we picked it up and play a little better, just tackling, run to the ball, and have a little more juice to us. So.
Were you surprised when your helmet went off and you had to go off the field?
No, I knew it. They were kind of telling me to go. I was kind of locked up on the bottom of the pile, but yeah, I was ready to be in the game.
What's that feeling like? I mean, is it like, oh?
It's kind of frustrating, for sure. And it kind of came off like after the play was over, and they kind of just put their hand under my face and just kind of pushed it off almost, it felt like. But, I mean, that's part of the rules, and I just got to abide by them.
How important was it for you guys?
Kind of guy he is. He's an awesome guy. A guy I immediately, that first week he was on campus, you could tell he meant business. He's a really nice guy, doesn't talk a lot, and extremely intelligent. So a guy that we can really count on going forward, and a guy that I think we're all really happy for.
The first drive, you seemed to do a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage. Was that just to basically look at the defense and decide which side of the ball to play?
Yeah, it kind of. In all honesty, we kind of thought they were going to do something a little different, and they gave us some different looks that we didn't think we'd get. But with James Ferentz there in the middle and being able to communicate it to the guys behind me, we were able to make some adjustments on the run and get some positive plays.
What was the wide receivers were much maligned over the last week. 8 drops is well known. How did you look like your communication was better, and then they caught passes. Keenan made some really nice catches.
Yeah, they caught the ball well today, and we have a lot of confidence in those guys. We know what they're capable of, and when you have those bad days, obviously the world's falling, but we bounce back, and those guys are capable of playing like that, and we'll need them to moving forward.
You and I talked about how they felt like you respected them, that there was no overlooking them or whatever. Was that kind of the mentality?
Yeah, completely agree. UNI is a great program traditionally from year to year. They're a great program. They get really good players, and we knew it was going to be a test. A lot of us were on that 2019 and knew how much of a run for the money they gave us, and they had our attention all week, and I thought we came out and executed for the most part.
Thank you, James.
He's one of the best all-around football players on our team, and I told him that I wasn't surprised at all today by what he did out there. I mean, honestly, not surprised at all. I mean, he's a great football player. Just really glad to see him finally get his opportunity to show what he can do.
Did you think you were going to have to go in after a while?
Oh, I was going to put those dreams to bed. I mean, let's just not talk about it.
His running style out there, kind of like a little tank.
Yeah, I call him the Sherman Tank, so that's his nickname. And yeah, he did a great job, and he's a great guy, and definitely somebody we can count on. And he stepped up big when we needed him.
Is this the type of game this team needed? Because a lot of people thought